Oh wait. I mean, hi. Today I'm gonna be doing a stage makeup, showgirl themed look tutorial for you because there's a lot of people who maybe need to know the kind of makeup that's gonna look good on you on stage. I'm not a professional. I'm just somebody who learned from like a magazine. Let's get started. I already washed my face. I put a toner on. The first step, the most important step, it's moisturizer. My favorite moisturizer is this one. It's Tatcha, the water cream. You can use cheaper dupes. They have one from Bliss. It's called Drench Quench. It's not as good, but this one's $15 and this one's $70. So I'm gonna use this. The most important thing about foundation is it's just that, right? A foundation. Without a primer underneath it, what the frick are you even doing? You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, now that you're dewy as hell, we're gonna start with a primer. My favorite primer is this one, the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. We'll put that on. Focus it on areas that have bigger pores. So like the center of your face, right here, up in the T-zone. Not too much on the temples and stuff. Who turns their face to the side? Step 3, doesn't matter, we're not counting steps. All right, is foundation. It's Fenty Beauty. They're her like Pro Filter Soft Matte. This is for if you have oily skin for sure. If you have drier skin or combination skin, I'd recommend like Makeup Forever or Urban Decay, something like that. It'll be a little bit less drying than this one is. This one takes a lot of finessing. We're gonna apply it with a stained beauty blender. I'll put it on my face and then I'll blend it out with a beauty blender. I recommend wetting it so it's slightly damp first, so it's easier to move the product around. Maybe like 2 pumps, get a lot on there. Oh God, oh God. Don't forget your neck. It has to match. And if it doesn't match, everyone's gonna know you're a lizard person. Blend it out using small strokes. Get it all the way into your hair a little bit. Make sure your hair is pulled back for this. So if you're somebody who makes a big mess with eyeshadow, maybe do that first. My pro tip for this part, if you're gonna do foundation first, is be careful. That's it. The next step is concealer. Shape Tape in particular is fast drying, so I only do like 1 piece at a time so that it doesn't just stick in place and you have like white triangles all over you. I'm gonna be putting it in triangles here, probably a little bit on the forehead, some on the temples since I have a little bit of breakouts there. Anywhere that you need to conceal, so it's used to make things look smaller. If you have a wide forehead, you might want to finesse it a bit. So I'm just putting it right here, probably a little on my nose, and right there. I don't know, that part on me is always red, but that's all I'm gonna do. I'll do the other side after because it's already drying. Just wing it out. It's okay if it goes over, you put a little too much on there. It's okay, everybody makes mistakes. Except me. Just kidding, me too. Beat yourself in the face. I can't confirm or deny if this is good for blood flow in the face. We'll do the other side. But I feel like it's probably good, right? Like a tiny sponge massage. If you want a cheaper one, Shape Tape's about $25, I think. If you want a cheaper one, e.l.f. makes a it's called 24-hour camo concealer. That one's pretty good. It's not as full coverage, but it dries the same speed. So still, same applies. As you know, Makeup can smell fear. Just don't panic. Just keep blending. I'm gonna use a loose powder. This is Rimmel's Stay Matte, but I am gonna press powder into my concealer. If your concealer creased, go ahead and fix that. Anywhere that you put concealer would be a good spot to put the powder. I'm gonna get a bunch on my beauty blender like this and just put it here, but I'm just gonna like keep blending it until it's kind of like one with my makeup. Anywhere that you don't want to be super shiny, which is everywhere. Make sure your neck is the same color, always. Next up is contour. So what we're gonna do is get a bronzer. My favorite one is Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. I'm gonna use a angled brush like this. Take a little bit of bronzer and put it onto your cheekbones. Your cheekbones are, when you go here, it's from your ear to your lip, like that. So you want it to be a little thicker than you would put it for your like daily makeup. I mean, you do you. You can be as glam as hell if you want. Same thing on the other side. Usually people do like a 3. So from all in your hairline, all the way down here, and then all the way down to your jawline. Looking bronzed. I also like to do bronzer on my nose to make it like kind of one thin shape. You don't have to do this, totally optional. Cheekbones are not optional. You do have to do those, or else. For your nose, I just like to make it like the shape that I wish that it was, you know what I mean? So I draw kind of a line from like, you can see where it would go in right here, the natural shadow, and then just draw straight down. And then just draw straight down and it makes your nose seem thinner, if that's what you're into. Touch it up, touch it up. All right, that's it for bronzer, and it looks a little crazy. It will get less crazy. Next up is blush. I like to use just basic stuff. I'm not really a girl who likes to pay a lot of money for things, so I'm using the e.l.f. in the shade Always Cheeky. Really washes you out up there on stage, so you want to use a lot of blush. And so never skimp on the blush, just smile. Place it right here, the round part of your cheeks. You can use a lot. I like to kind of blend it in with my contour from earlier. Hit it hard in the blush, go hard to the paint. Y'all know what it is. Put a little on my nose. I think it looks cute on the nose. You ain't gotta do this. Next up is a little bit of blending, which I'm gonna use. Can't read this anymore, but it's Rimmel Stay Matte, but it's like the pressed powder. I'm gonna take a big fat brush. I'm gonna take like a lot, and then just go over my whole face from where I put all the contour and blush and stuff. Make it a little bit softer so the lines aren't so hard. You're good, don't worry, remain calm, blend it out. You can always put on more powder. You can always put on more blush, and you can always put on more contour. Your face is big enough for everyone to coexist. Don't forget the neck, never forget the neck. That's my motto, never forget the neck. All right, so this is your base. I do have one more surprise. It's not a surprise. Highlight. I'm using JCat Beauty's You Glow Girl in the shade Moonlight. I'd recommend a gold if you're a warm tone, or a silverier one if you are cool toned. Two little swipes. And that's it. Don't forget your nose, maybe a little on the Cupid's bow. I also like to use my highlighter shade as the highlight shade for my eyeshadow. So I'll start that. I'm using this like a skinny brush, kind of. Go back into the same highlight. If you don't want to use highlight and you would rather use just eyeshadow, I'll show you the shades that we're gonna use for the eyeshadow palette, and you could just use like the lightest. So, because it's just gonna make your eyes pop a little bit, you can be pretty liberal with the amount of shade here in the eyes, since it's the most shadowy part. Some in the inner corner. some on this inside in the little tear duct, bringing it up onto the lid up here. When you're doing eyeshadow, make sure you start light to dark. The darker shades will like kind of mask imperfections if you mess up. If you start with black, like what are you gonna do? I'm using this eyeshadow palette, Sultry by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Be Careful, part 2. What I'm gonna use is the shade Birch. You don't have to use Anastasia. You can use a cheaper eyeshadow palette, but make sure it has like these basic browns in it and black. And if you don't have a palette, then I'd buy basic browns and a black. Take a bunch, tap it, because there will be stuff coming off onto your face, and I'm gonna put it, just a swath of it, over the whole lid right here. So if you're darker than this, then you'd need to use a darker color. A little bit onto the brow bone right here in the crease, all the way up to the highlighter shade, but not on top of it. The next shade we're gonna do is this darker one right here called Twig. I'm gonna use this on the corner and in the crease. I have a lot of eyelid space, so the less eyelid space you have, the more hooded your eyes are, the less you want to go into the actual lid. So I'd keep it really, really tight on the outside and a lot of that other color, like the lighter colors, on the lid so the lid looks bigger. Lighter colors make it bigger, darker colors make it darker. So if you want to look like you have bigger eyes, more white in the center. All right, so since I have a lot of lid, I'm gonna bring it pretty far in, almost halfway. I wouldn't go any further than halfway. I'd keep the shadow from the corner of your eyes up. If you get any fallout there, you can wipe it like softly with your fingers. Everything's sort of up, and then less darkness right here. You wouldn't want any shadows right here or any blush up here, nothing above here, nothing below here. So I'm going to use a darker brown. This one's called Dystopian. The darker shades, be a little bit more careful with your placement, so I have a thinner brush for this one. I'm going to take a little bit, tap tap, put it just here on the outer corner. Same thing applies, not too far in. Even for me, still bring it into the crease, but keep it real tight in the crease there, just only there. If you need to blend it out, you'd use that wider brush to blend it. We're doing like a smoky eye, but not too much smoke because that darkens the eyelid. We're keeping it really fresh in the center and really dark on the outside. So now I'm gonna go in with black. I'm gonna go in with Noir. I'm gonna use the same pointy brush, and I'm gonna take less. I'm gonna kind of like wipe it off. I'm gonna take some, and be careful. Like I said, makeup can smell fear. So just keep it calm and light, small strokes. This one I'm not going to bring all the way through the crease, only about halfway, maybe a quarter of the way. And we can blend it out with that fatter brush. Keep everything, oh, that was too much. Keep everything really triangular looking. I'm going to wipe some of that off. That was a little intense. You still want to be able to see the wing of your eyeliner into it, so not too much black. I'd keep it in the dark browns if I were you. Seems chill. If you mess up, it's fine. Like, everyone's really far away. If you have any repair work to do, like blending work, I'd take the shade that we went all the way across the lid with last, which is Twig, like the second darkest brown. Get a little bit on there, and then just go into the crease with it. Just darkening up the crease and also blending all those colors together that you just put on. That's it. The next step would be eyeliner. I'm not gonna put on eyeliner because I have false lashes on. But if you were gonna use a liquid eyeliner, I'd use this one, NYX's Matte. I will be using a powder and a brush. This brush. You see it? Do you see it? A brush, and I'm going to use the same technique as I would use if I was doing a liquid liner, but just with powder. This is also an okay alternative if you don't want to do the liner, but I recommend a liquid liner. It's a lot darker and a lot prettier on stage. So I'm taking a bunch of the black on that angled brush and a lot, but like tap it because this is really going to fall off onto you. Do a diagonal line from the tip corner of your eye to like pointing towards the tip of this eyebrow. That's all you need to start. That's like the backbone. This dictates how big it's gonna be. I'd start off smaller, so if you mess up, then you can make it a little bigger and you're not in over your head. Make it a triangle. So if your mouth is closed during this, you're probably an alien. Your mouth should be open like you just saw two dudes tie in an eating contest and they both ate 56 hot dogs in 2 minutes and you're just like, that's a lot. No tapping required if you're using liquid, that's what I'm saying. So that's the beginning of the wing. I like to have it be straight when your eyes close, and it looks real cute when you have them open. Last step is to go ahead and do the rest of it. Take a clean finger. A lot of people say you're not supposed to like pull on your eyelid, but like I can't do it any other way. So I'm gonna pull it closed and then finish the line, making it progressively smaller until it meets the inner corner. Now you're done. That's it. That's it for eyeliner. There's more. If you dropped any eyeshadow, then you can just dust it off lightly with a big kabuki brush like this one, or the powder brush from earlier. I'm gonna be using another angled brush, a clean one, to do my eyebrows. What I am gonna do is fill them in with a powder. So I'm using an e.l.f., just like a cheap e.l.f. palette. This one's called Pumpkin Pie because I'm a redhead, so it has like a brown shade and then this kind of orangey pumpkin shade. Any powder will do that's close to your hair color. I'm taking a little bit of this one, I'm mixing it with this. This one also has a lot of fallout, so tap tap. When in doubt, tap it out. The basic eyebrow shape, which is starting from the edge of your nose here to this corner of your eye there, straight up. So that's where the beginning of my eyebrow should be, which is right there. And I'm making a line just up the natural brow line there. I'm gonna fill in the front tip like that. Front tip. The arch of your eyebrow is from the corner of your nose here to the center of your pupil there. So mine is right there. So I'm gonna start from the top of my eyebrow and make that arch right where I said it was supposed to be. So now I have an eyebrow arch, and it's supposed to end tip of your nose and the outside corner of your eyebrows. A little lighter on the outside there. Taking more of the orange and kind of filling in over the dark part of the eyebrow. I'll do the other eyebrow quickly. Your eyebrows aren't gonna look the same probably, but don't worry, eyebrows are sisters and not twins, so they don't have to look exactly the same. You can stop here, or I like to do a pomade. I'm using this from Lime Crime. It's called Bushy Brow, and this is in the shade Redhead. They actually make a like, you know, browns and blacks and blondes, but they also make hair colored ones. So like blue and purple and like really red. So if you have a fun hair color and you want it to match your eyebrows to match your hair, then this would be a good product so you can have fun eyebrows. I'm gonna brush them up. I know it seems kind of crazy. It just looks like you got a lot of eyebrow hairs. I'm brushing this part out, and then I'm gonna tame it on the tail. You don't want a ton of volume on the tail here. I want most of it to be going up and slightly diagonally out instead of straight up this way. It makes it follow like the arch of the eyebrow. Makes it look a little bit more natural. I recommend a top coat. This is eyebrow top coat from the brand I Envy, and it's like a clear coat to go over your eyebrows, and it makes them stay in place. Be careful with this, take a little bit, wiping it off, so there's only a tiny bit, you don't need a lot. This just goes in the same direction. Be very careful because it will take your foundation off. Brush downward for the tail as before, and up for the front. Now is when you would do false eyelashes. I have these, so I don't use false lashes, but when I did use them, I used Ardell's Wispies, so it's number 113. These are already been cut. You want to cut the inside a little bit to match your eye shape and the size of your eyes. You can tell, put it on without glue, and if it's like cutting into the inside, then you'll need to trim it a little. We're skipping ahead to one final run through with the powder. Big kabuki brush, take a bunch, kind of dust off underneath your eyes. Any last minute fixing you need to do, there's always something. We're gonna end the entire thing with a setting spray so it stays in place. My favorite setting spray is Urban Decay's All Nighter. I'm not gonna offer you a dupe because there isn't one. This is the best one. If you're not using this one, then get all the way wrecked. Wait for it to dry, don't do anything else if you don't feel like waiting. You don't have to be extra, but why be regular? No look is complete without lipstick, including this one. I got foundation all over my lips. I'm gonna leave it there because I think it creates a nice base for your lipstick. I'm using Lime Crime in Red Velvet. Put it just where your lips are. You don't need to overline. You're not a celebrity with a lot of Photoshop. When you're doing your Cupid's bow, it's nice to draw like a little X. That's the tips. Just the tip. Sorry. I'm going to show you how to add glitter to your eyeshadow and to your lipstick. I'm going to use Wet n Wild's Mega Sparkle. This is also like $1. It's called Lilac Frosting, whatever. I'm going to take some, I'm going to use my finger, and then you can tap it onto just the light part of your eyeshadow. So just on the lid. I wouldn't put it onto the dark section. So the outer corner. You can also use it where your highlight is. So on the inner corner and right up there. That's it. Eye glitter complete. Lip glitter, I'm using J-Cat Beauty in the shade Rock in the Night, maybe? I like to pour some out on like a napkin. I'm gonna be using this like round brush. Make it stick to your lipstick. I'm gonna actually be using eyelash glue, whatever, with aloe. The white light works a lot better. Sorry, can't close my mouth. And there you have it, the finished look. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Final verdict, definitely use white eyelash glue. I'm not sure what I was thinking. And be liberal with the glitter. If you'd like me to do any other videos, go ahead and let me know. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know if I should do more jokes next time. I was really holding them back.